This video is brought to you by MPEC Print. This video is brought to you by Maypen Educational Center, catering to evening CSEC classes and chess classes. Call 876-337-7374 or 876-775-6692. We got you covered preparing for exams. Andy Gone Nuts. 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is also brought to you by BLC Jamaica Security Electronics, specializing in alarm system, video surveillance, camera system or CCTV, barrier system, gate automation, and access control. Call 876-320-7711. That's 876-320-7711 or 876-351-1105. That's 876-351-1105. Reggaeboyz fans, how are you doing? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to Reggaeboyz Commentary. Thank you so much for tuning into another video on this channel. Hope everyone is doing well. This is your hub for everything Jamaican football related. So let's talk a little bit about a man that has started the season like a house on fire, quite literally. A man who is 26 years of age and will be 27 come March next year. Who is that specifically? Well, we're talking about Ivan Benjamin Elijah Toney. Ivan Toney. Yes, that's right. Ivan Toney, whose paternal side of the family is from Jamaica and mother's side from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And as we know, when Brentford got promoted to the Premier League, he was celebrating with a St. Vincent flag. And people were wondering, where's the Jamaican flag? But it is what it is at the end of the day. So Ivan Toney, this season in particular, he's done phenomenally well. 5 goals, 2 assists in 7 Premier League appearances. Those numbers speak for themselves. His link-up play, his movement in and around the box, he right now is in the form of his life, in the form of his career. And it sort of mirrors what we've seen from him at Peterborough in the 1920 season with the COVID season, the first one. And of course, the first season that he spent at Brentford in the Championship. Remember, this is a man who is spending his first ever season in the Championship. And the man goes and knocks in 31 goals in 45 appearances. Brentford gets promoted, and last season he notches 12 goals in 33 appearances. Great with penalties, am I right? So you even have fan channels, Manchester United fan channel in Stephen Howson. And Stephen Howson did a video today, and I'm more than happy to share it with you guys as well, because I think Stephen Howson is one of the best out there in terms of content creation. And he did a video entitled The Case for Ivan Toney. Now, what he was mentioning in the case of Ivan Toney is his sheer ability and what he can be able to accomplish. So I've dropped in the comments a link to that video that I encourage you to watch after this video, as Stephen Howson speaks about the case for Ivan Toney, because he firmly believes that Ivan Toney would be a great fit at Manchester United. Manchester United have found the pieces to the puzzle in midfield with Christian Eriksen, Casemiro. He has an expectation will get good, but the attacking line, still something to be worked on. And with Ivan Toney in the mix, he feels that he could help Manchester United, even if it is in the short term. But I know you guys want to know about, from a Jamaican perspective, about what it means from the Jamaican perspective. And why are we even having this conversation? Because he has received a call for England. Well, we know at yesterday's press conference, there was a question posed to him in relation to Jamaica and an opportunity that came 18 months ago. And he said that it was something that fizzled out, which certainly gives the indication that no follow-up was made. Now, remember, I want to not necessarily go on a tangent, but on a parallel at this point in time. When Anthony Grant arrived in Mexico for the first World Cup qualifier, his debut, the question was posed at him saying, why does he want to play for Jamaica now? And his response was, he's always wanted to play for Jamaica. He thought it was like England, where they reach out to the player and not vice versa. And the reality is that is exactly how it should be done, where you reach out to the player. So the player admitted that he was focusing on getting to the promotion from the championship playoffs, right? Cool. The Gold Cup comes around, yeah? Cool. The Gold Cup is finished. Cool. You very well know, we very well know that come September would be the World Cup qualifiers. Yeah? We very well know what was going to happen. We knew exactly what was going to happen. So in that time frame, when you're preparing for the Premier League season, that would have been the best time to reach out again. The season has started. Let's start the paperwork process. Let's find Daddy's birth certificate. That would have been an ideal time. And certainly wouldn't have created what it is at this point in time. So, Ivan Toney, should we give up on him? We, meaning Jamaica? Should Jamaica Football Federation, Jamaican fans, avid Jamaican football supporters, should they give up on Ivan Toney? The honest answer to that is no. And I'll explain why I've made that statement in particular. Raheem Sterling was eligible to play for Jamaica until the day he took the field against Italy in the 2014 World Cup. Ivan Toney will remain eligible to play for Jamaica until he takes the field for England in a competitive assignment. He's been called up to the squad. As he take the field, that's a different conversation altogether. England has Italy to play and also Germany to play in the UEFA Nations League. It's must-win games. I'm not sure if in these must-win games, where England needs virtually 2 wins to avoid relegation to League B of the Nations League. That is a scenario right now as we speak. Hungary, 7 points. Germany, 6 points. Italy, 5 points. England plays Italy on Friday in the San Siro. A victory over the Italians, and then, okay, we go to 5 points. But on the last day, Hungary takes on the Italians, and England faces Germany at Wembley. They need 2 victories. Is he going to throw Ivan Toney in at that crucial stage? Well, that is something that we have to consider. That is something that we have to think about. And I see your comments, and I will be getting to it quite shortly. I will. I really will. So continue. Hop in the comments. Say what you have to say. Use the super chat feature to get your question, comment, concern highlighted, and we take it from there. But if you haven't already, you hit the like button from this video, and you also hit the subscribe button as well. So go ahead, hit the like button for this video, and then we take it from there. How does that sound? Sounds good? Okay. Let's do that. Ivan Toney is 26. Yeah? I answered the question that no, in terms of giving up. At the same breath, It's a wait and see. Think about it. Think about all of the England strikers or players that have been called up for England. But Charlie Austin has been called up for England. Charlie Austin has never played for England. You know that? Let's talk about Jay Boothroyd. Jay Boothroyd has only ever represented England once, and that was a friendly in 2010 when he was playing at Cardiff. He eventually went to play for QPR in the Premier League. That was still a friendly, so he still could have played for Jamaica. That's Jay Boothroyd. Let me tell you another person with Jamaican heritage. Zat Knight. Zat Knight is a centre-half that played for Fulham, Aston Villa, Bolton Wanderers, and also played with Colorado Rapids in the MLS. Zat Knight played for England twice. And these came in friendlies against the United States and Colombia. This was in the year 2005. Long time ago. So Zat Knight could have been for 2010, 2014 qualifiers. But I'm making the point that 1 cap, 2 caps, like a Ben Godfrey, you still keep a close eye on them. You never know. You never know. Will Ivan Toney take the field come Friday? That's something else that we have to consider. We don't know. We honestly don't know. But time will tell. Time will tell everything. Bottlefield says we don't need Toney. Need refers to a necessity, something you can't do without. Can we live without Ivan Toney? Yeah. The question mark is, let's talk about where the goals are going to come from. Who do you think is better currently, Antonio or Ivan? Currently, in terms of form? In terms of form right now, Ivan Toney. If you're talking about the better football player than Antonio, the better football player. That's what I would say. Yannick Davis. Siobhan Givon says, know that man would get a call, and I'm sure he's going to be a regular. You think he's going to be a regular for England? Really? You think he's going to go to the World Cup? Really? Let's think about this for a second. Just process this for a moment. Harry Kane. Because England has to pick a balanced squad, and that's what Gareth Southgate has stressed. So Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, Jack Grealish, Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden, Tammy Abraham, Jared Bowen, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho. 2 players from that will have to be dropped, and we haven't even called Ivan Toney's name as yet. You see what I'm saying? I don't think Jared Bowen will make the World Cup plane. I don't think Jared Bowen will make the plane. Ollie Watkins? I don't think so. Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho? Yes. So when you put in Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho over, say, a Jared Bowen, yeah? That means that Tammy Abraham may not make the plane as well. And then you look to yourself and say, where are you going to squeeze Ivan Toney into the squad? Honestly. The only way, honestly, I think you could see Ivan Toney in a World Cup squad is if he bangs another 10 Premier League goals between now and the World Cup. That's honestly how I feel about the matter. But time will tell. Time will tell, for sure. But I don't see Jared Bowen making the plane. Tammy Abraham. If the World Cup was last year, then yeah, Tammy Abraham. But this season hasn't been absolutely great, if you get what I mean. Burp says, who named Ivan Toney? Ivan Toney is a striker that plays for Brentford in the English Premier League. Ivan Toney is being looked at by Manchester United fans. Manchester United need a counter-attacking striker. You know? That would be actually a good idea, Siobhan Gibbons. I think that would actually be an absolutely fantastic idea. Absolutely. And what I'll do as well, if anybody would like to give their thoughts as well about the matter, I'm inviting you to the live stream. And the link is in the comments below. If you want to have a part of this discussion in particular, then the link is below and you can have your thoughts. Never heard of him, away him come from Zimbabwe or something? Nah, born in England. Eric Sewell says, big up Simon, big up, how you doing, man? Julian Lakeman says, a new coach from Jamaica will get England striker in the future. Which striker is that in particular? J. Dye says, Toney at Man U, fire. I believe Toney, no one play for Jamaica. He wants to penetrate to represent England. You don't think he wants to play for Jamaica? And I'm going to say this right now, and I've always said this. If somebody doesn't want to be in your life, let them go. What's the point in forcing something? I've said this before, and of course I'll say it again. I think relationships, friendships need to be passive. It needs to flow naturally. It's not something that should be forced, rigid. Similarly with players that you're trying to attract. If Ivan Toney does not want to play for your country, then fine. Because guess what? At the end of the day, this is not club football. This is international football, or you have to play with passion and heart. You're playing for your country, for the badge. You're not getting thousands of pounds to do your job. This is completely different. Completely different. So if Ivan Toney doesn't have that love to play for Jamaica, then all the best to you, sir. All the best to you. Siobhan Given says, we should give up on Ivan Toney. My humble thoughts on the matter is that until the day he takes the field to represent England in a competitive fixture, then we can strike his name off if he takes the field for England in a competitive game. J. says, we don't need Toney. Burp said, we're good, man. We're all right. All right, Burp, I want you to tell me Jamaica's top 4 strikers, number 9s. Not forwards or attacking, but you guys get the point of what I want to say. And we have somebody that has joined us on this live, and I'm so delighted to have this individual on the show, really, really tuned into our lives. And I'm interested to hear what he has to say a part of this discussion. And it's my pleasure to bring on Live 11 Radio. How you doing, man? Hope you're doing good.
Blessings, Simon, to all the subscribers, everyone who's listening this morning. Greetings and blessings to you all.
Good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, man. Simon, I like your analogy of the girl, a girl that you love, or she doesn't show that interest in you. That's a wonderful analogy to use in a scenario like this. And I'm always of the impression that we don't need to chase anybody down. Of course, many of those professional soccer players, their ambition is always going to be playing for the Lions. Nothing wrong with that. The resources are there, the prestige is there, the chances of even winning a World Cup is more likely there as well. But I'm always more keen on persons who choose Jamaica or above and beyond anything else. I believe that we need to go for those players. And to be honest, Simon, I think I sent you something yesterday as well with Iceland. That was very interesting with how I saw that euphoria back in 1908, how the country, the people rallied around the soccer team. I saw that in Iceland. I've not seen it in a very long time. And as small as Iceland is, and I'm not using Iceland as an example because of the coach that we have now, the coach that I believe that he's wanting to bring back. to what we have. And I'm
Mhm.
always very keen on persons who show that passion for country. I had never seen that passion from Ivan Toney, and even listened to an interview that he gave yesterday about his call up, his now call up to the national program. I don't believe that his passion is for the Reggae Boys, even if he doesn't make it to the World Cup team for England this time around.
Right. And you share that same sentiment whether you name Ivan Toney or Lionel Messi, same procedure. If you it's not in your heart, same thing.
Same, same. Because one of the things I've always coached players is that you could have the skill, you could have all the skills in the world, but if you don't have the heart and the passion, it's not going to be much for the team. Because in soccer it's not like basketball. We have five players and you have a point guard or a center, one star player, so to speak, that can carry the team for the most part. Soccer has 11 players, and it's both offense and defense at once, and you could have all the skills in the world. You could be the best Lionel Messi in the world. You could be the best Neymar in the world. Without the other 10 players around you with that same passion for country, you just be a skillful soccer player on the pitch. That's it.
Well said, well said. What about your thoughts as it relates to the new coach? Are you optimistic about the future?
I am optimistic about the future. And I got more optimistic with the documentary that I saw yesterday on Iceland. One of the things, I said I could go back to the euphoria that we had in the country in '98. Many people, if they were around that time, can remember the violence where it was down. The the atmosphere. That's when we were dubbed the Office, and if people realized what the Office meant, and the team and the players know what the Office meant, then we would take more pride in how we play at home. And I believe that with this coach, his his culture and the culture of Iceland, and from what I've heard of him so far, I believe that he can bring that back to the people. I believe the people want that back, and we haven't had that in a long time. And I believe that if the players buy into his philosophy and his approach to connect the people with the sport, and the sport with the people, bypass the administration, but bypass the JFF. They have their role to play, yes, but let's bypass that. I believe that we can recultivate that, and we, given the time, he can do it. And with any coach, given the time, they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
one second, Simon. Let me not say with any coach. With anything that we're putting together, any plan that we're putting together, it needs time. So given the time, we can achieve some great things.
Yeah, as you said about the time, it's something that unfortunately Paul Hall didn't get a lot of. Can you
No.
really judge somebody from 6, 7 months in a job?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It wasn't the right time, and I've heard your desire for giving him the opportunity for the Gold Cup, and then let's see what his stats would be, and then see if we could give him the qualifications for the World Cup. I believe that the World Cup team, we need a 4-year plan, at least a 4-year plan. The decision to remove Whitmore at the time that he was removed, I think that's a poor decision to have been made at the time. At that time, making those changes, we pretty much were saying that we're giving up on the program at that point, because any coach coming in at that time will want to put in their philosophy, their stamp on the team, and we didn't have the time for that. We had 7 or 6 more games to play. We didn't have the time for that.
6.
And with the resources that we have not been utilizing in friendlies, because every time the teams come together, the maximum time we probably would have had in the World Cup campaign, the last one would have been 3 days.
Right, 3 days together training.
And
Yeah,
that's not enough time. That is not enough time at all, and I've not seen many successful teams have that time, or giving themselves that time to prepare for any games. And with us, with what we've had, the chopping and changing that we have had, 2 days, 3 days, never enough.
mm-hmm.
It's a recipe for failure.
Yeah, and that's something that the new coach wants. If it even means to just have the local-based players together, and then from there you pick 2, 3 to travel with the team for international games. It's a small difference because, as you know, club football dominates the international landscape of 12 months for the year. So the time is already very short. unless before Gold Cup you would have a week or 2 weeks together. So it's important that you at least put step one in place before you move to the next step, you know?
Yeah. But you see that even our counterparts in the Caribbean or in the CONCACAF region, we
Mhm.
would have had, like, for example, let's use the Mexican League, for example. There are a few of the Mexican players that play outside of Mexico. And for the most part, those players have been playing together for a long time. You really see the changes. And if you do see any changes, there's not a wholesome change in the Mexican team. And the other players are playing with amongst each other for, year in, year out. You understand? So there's some level of familiarity that they would have had with each other. Likewise, a Costa Rica, a Honduras, a Panama, somewhat the US as well. But even the US, they play more friendlies. They play more games in between the qualification games. Again, we didn't have that. So to bring a team in that is unfamiliar with each other, introducing new players in the campaign, it wasn't worth it for me. So we pretty much set up ourselves for a failed campaign with some of those things that we did administratively. And to be honest, some of the things that the players did on the field, they did. I didn't see some of the commitment on the pitch.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah. I follow what you're saying, you know, and see the thing is that in the non-FIFA window, even even if we're playing Cayman or Bermuda or St. Kitts, it still makes a massive difference at the end of the day because you're at least sifting through the talent locally
Yes,
and
sir.
reviews.
But Simon, I'm not. I know you're much younger. Some of your audience members would remember '98 or leading up to '98. Let me not use '98 as the year, but leading up to '98. In between, we didn't have much resources to play many games, but we were playing all St. Anne's 11, best of 11 for St. Anne's, or some club teams, some of the Premier League teams we were playing against, or we were playing against under 23 teams. So we didn't have, we were playing games. It may not be top quality games, but at least the coach could have been able to, because it's different playing, doing certain things in practice than when you get a game going. It may not be the best or the top quality game, but at least you can get some of the systems that you're trying to put in place, playing around within a game and not just in practice.
Hmm. Good. Well said. Well said. So you're gonna try to get to the game on next week, Tuesday?
Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it. Because Simon and the listeners, this is the best month of the year. This is the best month of the year, September. So my
Yeah.
wife she had some plans for me, and I won't be able to break loose of those plans. So I won't be able to go to the game, but I will try to ask her permission at the time when we're in our way to sneak in and see if I could get a watch. But trust me, the World Cup campaign in the last couple of times Jamaica play, I got gray hairs, too much stress, man. But
Yeah.
I'm enthusiastic about what's coming up. Lionel Messi is my player. Argentina is my team outside of Jamaica. And I think it's a good, we've shown good heart playing against them, except for the World Cup '98. We have had good results, even though we may not have won, but we had good performances and good results whenever we had played them in the past. So I would imagine that the players that are being put together in this camp, for this friendly, will want to impress the coach, and not just the coach, but to bring on us, the supporters, and let's start afresh. So I believe that this is a new beginning. And again, the coach did not have to take this assignment. His contract begins January,
That's right. Yeah.
and he didn't have to take on this assignment. But here he is. I saw that. I didn't get to watch the video yet. That the assistants are here. So let's rally around the team, the JFF. Hopefully they can get their act together. We're still not taking our focus off of them. But you know what, Simon and listeners, hope they get the chance to watch that video. But when I saw the coach reading out the not starting level, but the players that were picked in a bar in Iceland,
Yeah.
bringing it to the people, the people who are coming and paying their money to come to the games, and letting them know before the press even got wind of it, right? Was taking everybody into consideration, and I really, really love that, And I believe that if we can get the Jamaican public, definitely the sponsorship will come, because we know how Jamaican business people are. Once people are flocking to, they want to, you know, jump on the bandwagon at some point and say, hey, I'm throwing my support behind this program. So I know the sponsorships will come from our local businesses, but the people, we just need to get the people back into a mode of let's go Reggae Boys and remember what we have as the office, and let's put our stamp back on the office.
Well said. Well said. It was a fortress in the 90s, and it has to be rebuilt again. Absolutely right.
Yeah. All right, Simon, to go, but continue the wonderful job that you're doing, and all the listeners have a wonderful and blessed day. Live 11 Radio signing out.
All right, much appreciated. Thanks very much, boss. Really, really appreciate it. Live Radio 11 having a chat with us there, one of our loyal subscribers. And if anybody else wants to give their 2 cents as well, they're more than welcome to hop in on the live stream, as well as I use this opportunity to read over the comments that you guys have made mentioned here. Let me go back to the point of where I dropped off in terms of the comments. You know, people have been talking about Damari Gray. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Damari McCallum says, we don't need Toney, we need Mason Greenwood. We need to force on him. Give it time, guys. Give it times. Robbie Earl, come 28, 29, 30. Baller Kick 90 says, Jamaica's top 4 striker, Shamar, Burke, Antonio, and Lowe. So there we go. Look at that. Interesting. Corey Burke in the top 4. Okay. Well, Toney used the girl call up as a stepping designation. Jade, I say something else. Oh boy, brother, the thing no name, yeah, footballing name. At the end of the day, there is no top player England that will choose us, knowing have a chance of getting a call up. You know, honestly, I think right backs are a certain opportunity for us because England has Trent Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier, and I promise you, at least 3 of them will make the plane, if not all 4 of them. And honestly, if one of those 4 do not make the plane, it's going to be Trent. I'm telling you right now. You have to carry Kieran Trippier, proven, loyal, reliable warrior. Kyle Walker, pace. Reece James, because he can operate that wing-back position quite well. So if you're going to drop somebody, you have to drop Trent because he's the weakest defender of those links. But I say carry all 4. That's what I personally think. He's injured. Kyle Walker is injured. Balkan 90, mentioned Burke, Corey Burke. And yeah, if he gets over 3 caps, then I'm sure you guys are aware of what I had mentioned earlier. Who up on St. Vincent side right now? You have Cornelius Stewart. That is part of them. I know back in the day they had Ezra Hendrickson. Ezra Hendrickson was a good player. Yeah. So yeah. Can we still get Walker Peters? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Absolutely. So absolutely. You don't remember 98, you're a toddler? Hold on. Toddler? A toddler? Burp, I thought you were in your 30s. Baller Kick 90 says, fact, 2 going on 3, no chance to remember 98. Jamaica will make you old before time. Gray hairs are coming. Martelli said, burp. Glenn says, greetings, who is the guest? Live 11 Radio is a loyal subscriber to the channel, as I gave an opportunity to, and given an opportunity for you guys as well. I've left the link in the chat if you guys want to hop in to give your share in terms of the discussion and the conversation as it relates to Ivan Toney, amongst whatever comment, concern, question you may have. You can also use the super chat feature as well to get your questions, comments, concerns highlighted. You like this video, and in addition to liking this video, you also hit the subscribe button, so you also have that aspect as well to get in the mood of things. So I'll use an opportunity to bring on another person on the program to hear his insights into everything, and we proceed from there. So let's bring on our next guest. How are you doing, boss? All as well?
So far, no great one.
Great,
Yeah,
great.
yeah, me good.
Yeah, man, I can hear you good, man. I can hear you good,
Mm.
man. How things? Yes, man. So
Yeah,
your thoughts on the discussion, Ivan Toney,
yeah,
or
and Ivan Toney.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um, I think we really need him. We don't need him. We don't need him, but it would be good if we can get him to play for it. But we don't really need him. It's not a need thing. We really need him, but it would be good to have him same way, in the pool. So need the best man win in terms of farm when picking time come. It would be good to have him in the pool though, for
hmm
sure.
most definitely.
Um,
Mhm. Go ahead.
really coach now.
hmm
Me kind of optimistic and then me kind of have a sad side to it. So optimistic because the coach seemed like in firm so far based on the outer appearance so far we get so far. Him seem firm and it look like he's a man where make him own decisions and him own boss and they really need nobody to dictate none much to him. As we see him do with calling back we calling Andre
Blake.
Blake. Yeah, but me still something about the federation I still have me a worried because in the press conference with few little snippets of me see I think at one point he was asked a question about I think something like oh am I gonna keep the players them or what am I gonna do to keep the players them? And I think he made that say something about the environment have to be good for them. The treatment have to be professional and it have to be so much professional because the players and they in a professional environment. And I think the thing that happened before with the players, I think are the same sentiments that we that try bring across what the coach has said. Really professionalism and that they might get professional treatment now so they know where the level is supposed to be at, you know. And me, the coach was asked that question, and me that refer to the same thing and say you have to have the environment of a good for kind of keep the players motivated and keep players wanting to you know, to
Yeah.
stay or wanting to come to play for us. And then the president come on and say, boy, I really want that film, but them don't have the money and all of that. And, so, it kind of have me now, I wonder now if down in the future, it'll be a look a problem where, where the coach might be, this is just my thing when me say what me feel, So
Yeah.
maybe the professionalism with the coach are coming, maybe the JVF, the administration and I can stand up to it. You
hmm
understand?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at this coach in
So
particular, he's not a yes man. It's his way. So any issue he have with the federation, he's gone in another way. So he's very stern, not a yes man or
definitely, yeah. At that me I think boy, cause I'm seeing for him know him for he definitely have a plan and him line it out basically so everybody have an understanding, both the players, the fans and the federation have a basic understanding of what he's about. If I come with him on a backroom staff, which makes a whole heap of sense because people them when would have work with him know say are professionals who have this thing apart. So it's really a good look for the future of the football based on how this man have come well prepared like him come ready for it. But on the other hand, I want to know the federation can live up to the professionalism and the whole expectation of what the coach really are come with.
Mhm.
So that are the downside to it. But him seem positive so far to him. I like him spirit. And him say him started a new slate, so man can't say boy, the coach come in and follow the federation and never use him or whatever. The coach will come and say Maggie, everybody a clean slate for make them themselves ready. So when him ready to pick a man, can't say yo, him never get him chance, which is good. But I think every man wants us them qualified enough and them a quality, them to get them opportunity. And if they ready, them ready, and if they're not ready, them not ready. You know?
True. Yeah.
And at one
Yes.
point, me and myself for the Jamaicans, them the players were playing at the local league, right? It
Yeah.
was somewhere very important, which I like that, which makes sense. Once as it is that you can make the national team playing not the local. Point we make fair. Once as you can make the national team playing locally, then that means you're ready, and you can make an impact and the feel along with the players them without the area play overseas, whether it be in England or in MLS. It means that you're ready to move on to the next phase to kind of get a faster pace development than here because you would have play against more seasoned players in a professional setting certain way, not only the playing wise, but in terms of how you view the football from a different angle, the professionalism to it and all that. So it makes a lot of sense. So this might motivate a lot of the local players and really step up them game.
Yeah. And how you
Yeah,
think
so that's that.
the team will, and how you think finally you think the team will do against Argentina? You think we'll have the squad to be competitive at least?
Uh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, but the squad selection, right?
Yeah.
I think the selection they try to play the best we have so far based on the couple of games we would have played previously, and that is good that them try to have the best available players who are available to really play the match here for kind of. But then again, it's based on what the coach are gonna do. And then if the coach are gonna try to implement film style, I'm just gonna there for watch based on how we play, based on the players that are used to each other playing previously. If the coach are gonna just watch how them play based on how them did play before and just study the players, I'm gonna try to implement film style of play and see how the guys them take on to it in the first match. So it depends. But the squad seems good enough, but then we don't know how it depends on how the team play and the selection, the starting 11. But we have a decent squad. We have a good enough squad, the best squad I've seen in a long while, though. In terms of selection, yeah, the best in a long while. So
Yeah. Okay.
the
All
team
right.
them are
Well,
going to fail. I mean, I think Argentina are going to trash them and give them, like come here some man and say, yo, they will get trash. I think they might get trash.
yeah.
But I think they are going to beat Argentina either. Definitely, because these players who are play with a seasoning already, so they have that over we already. They're more seasoning than we, right? They have a system going already. You understand? They are playing at top-notch leagues, and them players are hungry for sure. So they want to make the team for the World Cup. So it's not gonna be a little laid back thing where them are gonna sit back and just say, "True, the Jamaica make we sit back." Every player gonna want to show the coach say, "Hey, we want to make the squad, and if we can rip Jamaica apart, we're gonna rip them apart, and them are gonna show what them can do to make the team." So it's not gonna be an easy match. But when I think them are gonna run over the side though, I think that'll be
Yeah.
competitive.
All right.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. Look, really, really appreciate you coming on for your insight. Thanks for your support, and we'll be in touch for sure, man. Much respect.
All right, more so for me. Bless it.
All right, cool, cool. There we have it. There, another one of the loyal fans of Jamaican football giving his insight as well. I'll give an opportunity to read the comments that you guys are saying, and anybody else that wants to jump on, we'll call it Freestyle Wednesday. Freestyle Wednesday. The fans hop on to the live and give their thoughts about it. So Freestyle Wednesday, fans come on, give your thoughts, and we proceed from there. So let's do that. Yeah. So let's get right into the comments because there are some of you that I skipped over, but I didn't get to see. If I skipped over your comment, then just type it again and I'll get back to you. What's up, Simon? Read the topic about missed discussion. If he's not on the World Cup squad, we still have a chance. Yes. And even if he doesn't play against Italy and Germany as well, we also have a chance. What about Lewis Baker? Lewis Baker needs to find those documents, man. Not a situation. Sean Base says, big up, Simon. Big up, Sean. Hope you're doing good. Simon asks him, who do we have better than Ivan Toney as a striker? Well, I'll ask you, Chris. I'll twist it on you. Who do you think is Jamaica's best number 9 available, eligible, and who plays for Jamaica right now? What we need is a professional federation with vision and ideas. We already have a wealth of options at our disposal. Even Brazil lost players that they wanted to other countries. Yeah, that is true. Even Brazil. We can even say it with just 2 words. 2 words. Diego Costa. Why are we even talking about this guy? He makes his decisions, just let him be. It's a video that has to be talked about, my friend, because you still have different views about this matter as it relates to Ivan Toney and the decision that he makes. Because many people share the view that he won't even get 10 England caps, while many people share the view that 10 is too much. 5, you know? Only Mikel and Toney would be close, and Toney is younger. Okay. Simon, what about Raheem Harper? He's a right back. Yeah, I know Raheem Harper. I know what was happening over in West Bromwich Albion in the Midlands. And what I can say in relation to that in particular is this. And it's quite simple. He needs his documents, and that's something that needs to be thought about. So let's factor that into the situation. Let's bear that in mind. And let's hope that those documents can be found, because that, at the end of the day, is something that needs to be processed. That is something that needs to be done. So hopefully that is thought about. True that. JPL, man, them now go pre-it in that way. Them go pre-it as a coach, I fight them. Or Simon, I fight them. Simon, I fight a man food. So I'm sorry. Yo, Burp, you have no sense, you know. But yeah, guys, seriously though, JPL, I'll be doing updates as it relates to transfers and which player go to certain club, and hopefully having an interview with a player in the JPL soon. Towards the future, says Romoy Reid, Ashley Phillips, Marcus Edwards, and Levi Colwell need to be absolutely pursued. They have world-class potential, real world-class. Also, Simon, has anyone reached out to Tommy Doyle? The truth is that nobody has reached out to Tommy Doyle. Nobody has reached out to Tommy Doyle. And if I'm being completely frank with you, Tommy Doyle wants to play for England. And I've been consistent in what I say, that if somebody does not want to play for you, don't force it. So Tommy Doyle, I'm not going to run it down. Curtis Jones, I'm not going to run it down. At all. Towards the future. Yeah, that's right. My question about the squad. What are the players in camp from today or tomorrow? I think all players should be available in camp right now. So Tuffy Roddy, you've made an excellent point, and I'm in full agreement with you there in terms of being in camp early. And I know many people are saying, well, look at the Argentina squad. Well, Argentina has a game on Friday in Miami against Honduras. But what I'll say specifically in relation to this in particular is this, that in relation to the encounter against Argentina, the local delegation departs the island on Saturday. I agree that this is Wednesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, you should ideally be in camp. But the truth is that you have players that have personal obligations to take care of. Some of them sponsorship obligations to take care of. Some of them have deals to honor in terms of media obligations and endorsements. So some might not be available to be there from Wednesday or yesterday, Tuesday. So from that is perspective. But honestly, for me, even if it's you have 6 players in New York, New Jersey, it still is better than none. Because those 6 players can already build up a synergy. And even if one gets to start, that one player will be fresh, sharp, prepared than the rest of the players that are to come. Andrew55 says, we don't want him. Mason Greenwood would be a better option. So with Mason Greenwood, guys, let's be patient. Let's let the situation finish, and then we'll talk about Mason. All right? Does that sound fair? because we don't want to rush things. We don't. So yeah. We needed some of the new young bloods in the team from the under 20. Kanaya Boys Clark, agreed. Roberts, agreed. Badley Morgan, agreed. Freestyle salad apply. Freestyle Wednesdays. The man made his decision, leave him alone. We still have to have a conversation about it, you know? Still have to have this conversation. Simon, will the 2023 Gold Cup squad be the most talented Reggae Boys team we have seen yet? For me, I think the 2015 squad was supremely talented. Go back to the 2015 squad and you'll see exactly what I'm referring to. I mean, you go look at the 2015 squad, right? And you look in the squad, you see Michael Hector, Wes Morgan. You following me? Giles Barnes, Joby McAnuff, Darren Mattox, Demar Phillips, yeah, Dwayne Miller, Joel Grant, Rudolph Austin, Simon Dawkins, Adrian Mariappa, Taxi, Gareth McCleary, Brian Thompson, Omar Holness. So the 2023 squad, yes, it has the potential to be better than this squad. The tremendous potential. Yeah, no problem. Marcus Mosiah Garvey says, Jeff should take a page from Argentina book. Look how they don't mind playing a low-ranked team like Jamaica to prepare for World Cup. That's saying something we can get warm-up game against Haiti, Trinidad. Even lower than that, Anguilla, Bahamas. Cayman is right there. Cayman is right there. Cayman, outside of Cuba, is the second closest island to Jamaica. Cuba's right there. Cayman is right there. Yeah? You follow me? Those would be the cheapest in terms of flights and accommodation. Well, accommodation in Cayman can be expensive, but in Cuba it would be cheaper. But you get the point I'm making. Cayman is right there and Cuba is right there. Even if it is a JPL 23 together. Give Malik Stevens his debut for Jamaica. Yeah. And you get to see the best of what we have locally. And honestly, even if it's only 3 or 4 that rise to the top, I'll work with those 3 or 4. Because guess what? I'm going to be pushing for those 3 or 4 to get opportunities in Europe. I'm more interested in central midfielders. You're not doing a thing in football if the central midfielders are not serious. It is a critical area, honestly. And honestly, upon discussion with Darren Moore, he cited that this was an area of concern for him if he were to take up the job, because he feels that the options in central defensive midfield are quite slim. He's not saying that he would never accept the Jamaican call, but he just said that central defensive midfield is something that needs to be looked upon. Simon questioned another player that was left out of the squad this window was Flemmer. Since the coach is starting from a clean slate, you think Flemmer should have gotten a call up? The reality is that Flemo is not getting game time. So that's the situation here. And I know you're going to say, but Simon, there's injured players in the squad. So what's the logic there? Every coach is going to have their 23. And if I pick a 23, it's going to be slightly different from your 2023 Burp and Ramoy Reed's 2023 squad, and also Trent Boring's 23 squad, and Leroy Bailey's 23-member squad, and Ira Vibe's 23-man squad, and Patrick Riley's 23-man squad, and Live 11 Raiders 23-man squad. We're all going to have one or two differences. We're all going to be like, but where's Andre Gray? But where's Corey Burke? But where's Andre Blake? That is what some of us will be like. You know what I'm saying? So with Flemo, that's the thing. JFF need a team of people who is assigned to help player with documents. Absolutely. Absolutely. Myself, Mr. Porter can establish contact with the player, get the data, share the database. You have Ian Campbell that lets them know step 1, that is birth paper. Step 2, go on this website. Step 3, register username. Ian Campbell can do that. Mr. Blake can do that. Step 4, Roy Simpson calls Pika, calls Minister Grange to expedite the process. Step 5, passport is received. Step 6, Coach Hallgrimson calls up the player. Step 7, they make their debut. Brilliant, right? So yeah, that's the situation. Especially seeing that he was the best player in the Nations League. Flemings, well, he needs some games. Which Central American nation has the best chance of winning the Gold Cup? Central American. Panama or Costa Rica? I'll go with Panama. Leroy Bailey says, I think those players will give of their best. They want to impress the coaching staff going forward. Wes Harding has been called up. Wes Harding at this point in time has not been called up. So that is the situation right now. So yeah. Trent, thank God. Just tune in and the answer is yes. Nah. Not until he takes the field. Not until he takes the field. The MLS should be considered also. Yeah, the MLS-based players, Blake, etc. But guys, Ramoy Reed, I'm coming to your question, but we have to take a time signal for 1 minute and 55 seconds. Nature calls, and we'll be right back in 1 minute and 55 seconds to take your comments and questions.
This video is brought to you by MPEC Printery. This video is brought to you by Maypen Educational Center, catering to evening CSEC classes and chess classes. Call 876-337-7374 or 876-775-6692. We got you covered preparing for exams. Andy Gone Nuts, 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing.
I hope you guys got your coconut water because you're due. You're due. So, I don't believe in begging people regardless of how good they are, but I want us to target under 24 old age players because of the longevity they can give the nation. Simon, is Jacob Ramsey a no-go too?
This video is
Jacob Ramsey in a sense of, does he want to play for Jamaica? Is that the question that you're asking? Or Jacob Ramsey in terms of, has he been thought about? What specifically are you talking about with him? So yeah, that's the situation right now. Let's take you guys' comments and questions as we scroll down in the chat. Mouse acting up a little bit, but we'll get to it. That's not funny. What about Boyce Clark? Boyce Clark is part of the reserves list. All of them that put out the fake news about Greenwood or bust the case, a joke thing. Edward says, what Jamaica has over a lot of nations is the main ingredient, players. They do. All the 2015 squad needed was more strikers, like an informed Andre Gray. You're right, because when you look at the goals of the tournament, just look at them for a second. You have Gareth McCleary and Joby McAnuff scoring in the first game, Rudy Austin the second game, McCleary the second game, Giles Barnes in the quarterfinals, Darren Mattox and Giles Barnes in the semifinals, and in the final, Darren Mattox. So you're right. You hit the nail on the head there. 2015 Gold Cup side, it's solid, brother. Solid. 15 square. That was our chance, honestly. Andre Blake have been awarded the best athlete in Philadelphia, past winner Charles Barkley, Will Chamberlain, entire Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, it's great, and I'm glad to see this accomplishment. He really deserves it. Honestly, Rob Smith. I saw a video of it this morning. The coach spoke about it and said how delighted he is. Listen, Andre Blake is a phenomenal athlete, and he's ready for the next chapter. Anguilla? Yes. Anguilla, Cayman, Bahamas, Cuba. Can play against any one of them. I know. I don't know. Does Anguilla have an airport, or you need to like take a ferry to go over to Anguilla? But in all seriousness, though, I know that Anguilla has an airport. I know it's located in the valley. It's located in the valley and called Clayton Lloyd International. So, but it's not a lot of. It's going to be a lot of island hopping to do that, and a lot of flights. Because you'd be like Kingston, Miami to Anguilla on American Eagle, or you go Kingston, Miami, San Juan to Anguilla. Or you could go, for an example, Kingston, St. Martin, and St. Martin to Anguilla. So I guess that could be done as well. Do you think we'll see the Caribbean lift the Gold Cup before Central America? Yes. Jamalo still not getting no game time. Yeah. My point exactly, Simon says. Marcus Garvey. John Tem Gaming says true. Now better we play lower rank decent enough European. We need for book Macedonia, Czech Republic, Finland, Scotland, both Ireland, Albania teams like that. Remember, we have to get these players visas first. Remember, that has to be the priority first. And these things take time, my friend. These things don't take overnight. These things take time. Jamaica can still select so much striker options even after missing out on Toney, like Scarlett, Archer, Jevison for 2026. What's the latest with Roof? Haven't seen him playing. Injuries. Simon, honestly, personally, I would have want Grant in for Kevin, but I'll work with this side. It's very competitive. JFF, if you're watching, we are not trying to fight against you. We are on the same page. We only want to see you do the right thing so we can start defending you if anyone says anything incorrectly. That's Marcus Messiah Garvey. Step 8, if them no good, don't call them. Step 9, call back somebody better. Step 10, win the game. Step 11, qualify for World Cup. It's very easy for you to come up with these steps, but it's like rocket science to the JFF. Barlock Ignite says Pama. Chris Reed says no levels, nothing. If it's game time, it's the reason. Simon, how can I help contact players and assist with documents? Okay, you can do something very simple. You can do step 1, step 0, reach out on Instagram to players. If Messi wasn't getting game time at the club, you wouldn't select him. For me, it's about reputation. So, like with the West Indies picking their T20 squad, I know Andre Russell. I would have picked Andre Russell based on reputation. Although his form is not the best. He's one of the best strikers of a cricket ball in the world. So some players you have to pick on reputation. Time signal. Simon, if we can't get back Grant, then please, where can we go? 2 more example player like Grant would bleed for Jamaica right now. You know, Deshaun Bernal can play central defensive midfield, right? We have Kemar Roof. Grant needs to find a club at a high level enough where the coach with him fresh slate can call him back. Andy gone nuts. What's that all about, Simon? What, a commercial? It's a coconut water commercial. Simon, I know he is in League 2, but Marcus McGuane at Oxford. We need to learn from missing out on Toney and look even there. And you know who also is at Oxford? Man by the name of Javan Anderson. Javan Anderson is there as well. And Oxford United are in League 1 right now. But you've made a good point about that player in particular. Marcus is young. He's 23. Arsenal, then Barcelona. And I think it's only a matter of time before he progresses up, you know. Marcus is a good player. Ultras check-in, says Mr. Blake. What is going on? Somebody pressed the bounty killer slapper there. You said that Tommy Doyle wants England. So does Curtis Jones. So suggesting, would you say that Jacob Ramsey falls into the camp of players? Oh. Jacob Ramsey wants to be established in club football. So he hasn't said, oh, Jamaica is not for me. Those words have never been uttered from his mouth before. Yow. Anguilla, just there, right? This so, and we don't have any direct flights. A joke thing. Brother, we don't have straight flights to Haiti. I believe within professionalism with the JFF, traveling payment players' welfare, and the incompetence to lead that will cause a lot of players not to want to play. Yeah, this may see you a listen Sunday. And from Jamaica to progress, we need you at the realm. Other great people are needed as well. That is a great way to highlight an award by mentioning the outstanding people that were also recipients. I do like that in real life, yeah. The loss of Ivan Toney has me in tears, honestly. I am hurt to the core, deep, deep. Only thing that can make me recover is one word: green wood. Will Kevin miss the Argentina match? Most likely. Simon, all those professional that got no game time at the moment can adapt quick, especially the most UK based. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I got to can't listen to Bug Song or Bud Song, I listen to like Code Red. Yes, sir. That's great transitions, I would say. It's Louis Baker, Isaac Hayden, Tasha, and Oakley Booth. Isaac Hayden believes he's the next best thing since Declan Rice. I think Pinnock gonna have a hard time to walk back in this team after injury. I agree with you 100%. Look how Qatar are gonna attack me now. Attack. We're John Russell play CDM? Yes, that is correct. That position in particular. The few under 20 players you just call, they should call up and be around the team for the Catalan game. Yeah, like Kanaya, Boyce Clark will be there in New York. Can the JFF get a game with England full? In Dale, that is honestly going to be a massive, massive challenge. Honestly, I don't see that happening. Right now, after the World Cup, but England's senior team have a better chance of arranging a game against England's women's team for the Reggae girls than England's senior team for the men. Honestly. Marcus. Ivan Toney will be like those two-cap wonders for England. When will you run to become a member of the JFF? As Alkaline says, everything in life takes time. Any more new players, says Devon Smith. Well, as we know, Omari Hutchinson has his Jamaican passport now, so he can get called up to the Argentina game. I don't think he will, but you can expect a few more changes. We know that the coach mentioned that Lati Badir is a doubt for the game, so it's highly likely that a defender will come in. Up. We don't have direct flights to Haiti. Wow, that's crazy. Well, them again, we have straight boats to Haiti. Ha 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 ha. What do you think of mainly relying on more talented dual nationals in Europe to qualify for 2026? So move up in the FIFA rankings and highlight talents on the island than using FIFA money to invest in local league. Look, Trent Boring. FIFA, like the IMF, will give you funds, but you have to use it in grassroots, the women's game, and development. Those are areas that you cannot avoid. So you can't just take the money and just say you're going to just do it what you feel like. You have to invest in the local league. You have to invest in the women's game and the grassroots. Those are priorities. And those are things that are stipulated. And Rice doesn't apply his trade in the damn championship. That is true. That is true. That is true. JFF can make back. Is it? That's a avenue that they could look at. Simon is a fantastic player. Imagine him and John Russell in CDM with a good number 10. Simon, if you can please describe him to the fans. We haven't produced a player like this. Marcus is a mini Anthony Grant. Who is similar height. So imagine a 23-year-old Anthony Grant who is brown. But my only concern though, Ramoy, and I'll be frank with you on this with Marcus, he has Irish heritage. He has Ghanaian heritage as well. I haven't seen many reports from the Jamaican perspective, so I'll be honest that I'll have to do more research on it to see the eligibility for Jamaica. But I know for sure it's Ghana, Republic of Ireland, and England. England men's team, no one to Jamaica men's team back in the life. What you mean? Can you imagine the emotions when Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier, Ivan Toney, Calvin Phillips come up against the country, Emile Smith Rowe against the country of their heritage? That'll be quite a day. Wouldn't that be? That'll be quite an occasion. That's right, J-Dime. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure. And say burp and say, I'm gonna go listen. So that's where we are, folks. That's exactly where we are at this point in time. With this situation. Toney even said that the England opportunity was too good to pass up. And just to recap what he said, I turned them down beating Jamaica because at the time I was focusing on the playoffs and it was a big chapter of my career, and I wanted to focus on getting promoted to the Premier League, so that was the main thing at first. And it then sort of fizzled out, and I just concentrated on playing in the Premier League, which is everyone's dream. And I felt that my chances were getting bigger and bigger to play for the England senior squad. There are big names that I'm playing with. I have got to take it in my stride and hope that I can get some more playing time with them. And that is what he said in relation to England specifically. Enough respect. Hit that notification bell so you can get updated. We do 3 videos, sometimes 4 videos every single day. We can play low-ranked teams to bring up our ranking. You won't get a lot of points against Cayman and Bermuda and St. Kitts, but guess what? It's valuable experience for the players. When Ivan Toney scores and lifts his shirt to reveal a t-shirt that says a penalty merchant. And that might be the only reason that he makes the World Cup squad, because he can take penalties good. Just bring him on in the 118th minute in the World Cup final against Argentina, and he just slots in the penalty. England win the World Cup, and we can say, it's coming home, it's coming home. Simon, trust me, the FA don't want to book another friendly again with us. Man, them take years to pay them. Well, yeah, that's the thing though, because in 2006 there was some money that was owed to the English FA, and the reality is that when Captain Horace Burrell spoke to the English FA about Raheem Sterling, they basically reminded Captain Horace Burrell that, listen, you have £70,000 for us. So Captain Burrell basically said, okay, do I give the English FA £70,000 or do I give them Raheem Sterling? So, because Captain Horace Burrell was seriously in discussions about Raheem Sterling. Do they look into Germany, JFF? You talking to JFF looks into Germany? If that's what you're talking. I have a database for Germany. You have Ricardo Henning over there. I need to follow up what's the situation with Jamie Lawrence because his head is not in the right frame of mind right now. Why don't we recruit the 100 of dual nationals across Europe but call up local baller who don't get professional football wage and can't compete in CONCACAF League? And you know what's interesting, Trent Boring? I think from you're born, the first thing that you should have alongside your birth certificate is a passport. And I'm talking those that live in the country. So you know when you're 10 and you're 11 and 12 years old, and you're on the cusp of making Jamaica's under 15 team, the first thing you should have is a passport. That's the first thing you should have, and the JFF will sort out visas for you, regardless of where that CONCACAF under 15 or CFU under 15 championship is. Of course, a passport is one of the first things that you have. That's your identity. You can't have a driver's license at 10 years old. You can have a birth certificate, but you should be having a passport from your born. From the day you come out of your mother's womb. When Bedford family to the Premier League, yeah. Winston Fowler says, wishing him all the best, but crying over spilled milk. Devon, unless a player in Germany comes out and so they're of Jamaican heritage and wants to play for Jamaica, I don't think they're really in Germany. I can tell you there's a few in Germany, a few in the Netherlands, there's one in Sweden. So yeah. Sold Sterling for £70,000, qualification worth 9 million USD every 4 years. You know, I have a lot of respect for Captain Horace Burrell. He might not have been a perfect man, but I think he did a lot of great for the nation. And of course, I know we're talking about Raheem Sterling's decision right now, but I just think where this decision is concerned in terms of the approach that he should have taken, and it's something that I've discussed with Devon Porter as well, that he shouldn't have approached the English FA for Sterling. He should have basically approached the agent, not the English FA. So, yeah. The local league can't form a decent best 11 mix with some under 20 players and Catalonia to play them. Would you put Bradley Morgan in the squad over Richard King? I would have both of them. Not either or, but both of them. Simon, what is Tashan Oakley Booth player profile? If you don't mind me asking. Also, at Mr. Blake, you could give your opinion on that as well. Oakley Booth is a compelling case with him because he was at Tottenham, at Stoke, now on loan at Leicester. Part of the England team at the Under-17 World Cup that won it. So Latif Badir would know him very well from the Under-17 team. Played with Phil Foden and Ryan Brewster and Angel Gomez and and Mark Gehi. You know, so these are players that they know very well. Very well, actually. And an interesting one with Mark, because Mark was actually born in the Ivory Coast. But put it this way, Oakley Booth brings exactly what Jamaica needs. Players playing Catalonia game, I mean. I mean, you want to arrange another Catalonia game. Simon, Cataract, when you check £70,000 in a Jamaican money, the JFF would be bankrupt, so it was a hard choice to make. Excuse me. It was a hard choice to make. Who's a Swedish youth? I think his name is Jordan Winter. No, Marlon. Marlon Winter. Marlon Winter, yeah. I've done a video about him on the channel as well, Marlon Winter. Yeah, so Marlon Winter is his name, the one that is playing over in Sweden, Marlon Winter. So he's the person that you can look at, Marlon Winter. Yeah. Is Bradley Morgan playing with Amari Hutchinson? Morgan is at Stoke. He's at Stoke City right now. He is at Stoke City, so gone are the days of Chelsea. You see what I'm saying? And Runway Read, I also did a what is the deal on Marlon Winter, so you can look him up as well. So you can look up Marlon Winter. Good stadium, not as aggressive. That's true. That's true. I think that has taken away a little bite from him, but still clearly a good one. So I'm the new coach will get the best European players to represent Jamaica. Certainly, we hope so. Good long range shot, good passer, link up play. Is Latifa there and the Jamaican ambassador related? I believe so. What would it mean for CONCACAF if tomorrow had chosen Canada? Well, he did play for them at youth level, but yeah. Can you imagine? Owen Hargreaves, Tomori, Sterling, Sturridge. Yeah. How much do you see Haiti growing in the next 4 years? In the women's game, they're gonna skyrocket. In the men's game, still some work for them to do. Hard person makes Simon sneeze there. Is that true with Bancroft? It was tough. You think Suriname and Jamaica will be the top two teams in the future from CFU? I would say top three, because you have to add Curacao in that mixed as well. So Jamaica, Curacao, Suriname. But let me tell you something. Suriname are only getting started. Suriname are only getting their feet wet. Suriname are only going to be pressing forward. And I can tell you, Suriname are not going to give up at all. I made mention with Haiti, and the thing is that with Haiti, that after a Gold Cup cycle or World Cup qualifying cycle, they tend to go back to hit the reset button, they go back to scratch and not build with the tools that they had that carried them towards like the semifinals of the Gold Cup in 2019. It's not the same Haiti team since the Gold Cup semifinal run that they had in 2019. The likes of Jean-Jacques Pierre is not around anymore. You know, of course, you still have Duchan's Nazon, who's 28, formerly of Wolves. So he's still there and thereabouts, right? Haiti went to the Gold Cup in 2021, which was last year. And Haiti couldn't come out of their group. Granted that USA and Canada in their group, but they could have done much better than they did. So that's how I feel about the situation in particular. Haiti were really, really good at the 2019 Gold Cup, if you remember. Beat Bermuda, beat Nicaragua, beat Costa Rica. That's 9 points right there. 9 points, top in their group. Beats Canada in a come-from-behind 3-2 victory. And slender loss to Mexico in the semifinals. How many Caribbean teams will we see come 2026? I think one team. Because you have USA, Canada, Mexico, they're through. And you have 3 spots and 2 intercontinental berths, playoffs. The two teams that go to the playoffs, it's touch and go really, because you're going to have European teams part of the playoffs as well, and other confederations. So when you look at the three, let's take the octagonal that we had just had for the 2022 qualifiers, right? But of course, USA, Canada, Mexico finishing top three. Remember who finished fourth? Panama. No, Costa Rica. And we know who finished fifth? Panama. And you know who finished sixth? Jamaica. So if you were to go by that logic, that would indicate to you that the next three teams behind USA, Canada, Mexico are automatically qualified, would mean that Panama, Costa Rica, and Jamaica would get to 2026 based on that logic. We know football is not played on paper, so we know that may not be exactly how it goes. But if you were to ask me right now who I think would be the three teams that will qualify for the next World Cup, I would say Panama, I would say Costa Rica, and I would also say Jamaica. Could that change after the next Gold Cup? Possibly. But I see Honduras in another cycle that they are in right now. But in terms of teams that could challenge, Guatemala is going to return to World Cup qualifying. Curacao are going to come bigger, stronger, faster, better, and so are Suriname. So it's going to be tough. Suriname will 2.0 Jamaica, the next powerhouse in the Caribbean in 5 to 10 years. I'll put it about 14 from the Caribbean. We're going up into the qualifier. I mean, 4 Caribbean teams to the qualifier. You're talking about, but here's the thing though, we're not sure if it's going to be an octagonal round of World Cup qualifying. The qualification format, it might change. It might change. Because remember, this octagonal final round was only done because of COVID. The plans were originally to have that 6-team again, that hexagon, but now it's the octagon of qualifying. But my point is that in relation to World Cup qualifying for 2026, that the qualifying format may very well mean a scenario that changes the format. But what we know for sure is this. CONCACAF president, FIFA president Gianni Infantino confirmed 6 teams will qualify for the World Cup. And also 2 teams from CONCACAF will go to the Intercontinental Playoffs. So we know that for a fact. We know that as a fact. And in the Intercontinental Playoffs, right, what's going to happen is that for those 2 teams that go to the Intercontinental Playoffs, it relates to the slot allocation. You're going to have 1 from Africa, 1 from Asia, 2 from CONCACAF, 1 from South America, and 1 from Oceania. So I beg your pardon, there's none from specifically the UEFA region. However, if you look at what's on your screen right now, you will see the slot allocation. So 1 from Asia, 1 from Africa, 2 from CONCACAF, 1 from CONMEBOL, 1 from Oceania. So after New Zealand qualifies from Oceania, we're looking at Vanuatu, Tahiti, Fiji, New Caledonia, Solomon Islands from Oceania. From CONMEBOL, the 7th team, we're looking at, okay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Venezuela. We're looking at that region there. From Africa, we're looking for this. We're looking at possibly Ghana, Egypt, Gabon, Comoros. And from Asia, we're looking at possibly Australia, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and CONCACAF for these. The intercontinental berths could be Trinidad, could be Haiti, could be Suriname, could be Curacao. But that's a slot allocation for you all to be aware of. Jamaica going for the playoff spot. You think so? Why Honduras fall so far? After qualifications to the 2010 and 2014 FIFA World Cup, Honduras had a mismanagement of resources. And that is the exact reason why they're in the situation where they are right now. I remember when Jamaica couldn't make it to the World Cup because they'll use local players called because Carl Brown was a coach. I wouldn't say that was the reason why we didn't qualify for 1994 World Cup. I wouldn't say that's the reason why. That's not the reason in my thoughts, to be honest with you. What do you think of Victor Montagliani speaking about replacing the Confederations Cup to bet a bit more for CONCACAF and sharpen our skills? Well, the Confederations Cup has always been a very inclusive tournament with the top team from each confederation plus the host country. So I've always felt that more opportunities for more countries would be better instead of just a select 8-team tournament. So I'm 100% in favor of this, and I'm hopeful that at some point as well we see the return of the Caribbean Cup. I know it's going to be difficult with the CONCACAF Nations League around, but I just find it's very, very important that we get that off the ground. So yeah. Montagliani is a madman trend. Personally, I just feel like it should be a scenario just like you would have in Europe, where you have the top 4 from England. So why not the top 3 from Jamaica? You cease or dissolve the CFU Club Championship, and then from there you go to the CONCACAF Champions League. So if you have 2 spots, the winner of the Jamaica Premier League qualifies for the CONCACAF Champions League, and the second place team heads to the CONCACAF League. Why not? Why not? I'm on the same page. So I would honestly say that would be good. I'm on the same page with that 100%, you know. I think that's important and vital. So yeah. Big up Simon from Suriname. I think I was just talking Dutch a while ago. What would your goal be for Jamaica if they compete in 2024 Copa America? Quarterfinals. A quarterfinals appearance, and I'll be very, very happy. That's all that I'm asking. That's my only requirement of this team in particular. Quarterfinals run. What happened to Peter Lee Vassell? That's a long story, my friend. A very long story. And the story is this. He's in the USL. He's playing in the USL right now, but Peter Lee Vassell, his phone was stolen. And someone was impersonating him. A scout from RB Leipzig reached out to him on that number. And the person was asking Peter Lee, the person who was impersonating Peter Lee Vassell was asking the agent for money. And there goes the opportunity to go to RB Leipzig. Big up Simon, says Charles Brahma. Honestly, I don't want to the Caribbean Cup. We should have one major where everybody have qualifiers. Honestly, you need that bit of bragging rights. You need a trophy, you know? Julian Lakeman says, Simon, is it 14 teams going to the top qualifier out of the top 14? 14? Where did you get the number 14 from in terms of 2026? Because the qualifying format has not been known at this point in time. Do you see Martinique or Guadeloupe making any noise in the upcoming Gold Cups? Honestly, no, I don't. If they get to the quarterfinals, that's it as a max. Any update on any new additions to the team versus Argentina? Well, Latibeaudiere could be out in terms of faces that could be in the team itself. Possibly Omari Hutchinson, but we'll just have to wait and see. Kanai Boyce Clark. Burp says, Simon, I agree with you. Disband the CFU Club Championship and the CFU Shield. So yeah. So yeah, that's the situation. Latibeaudiere is out due to injury. Latibeaudiere is out due to injury, and we know the situation with John Russell. John Russell does not have a Jamaican passport. How many Caribbean teams will make the Gold Cup knockout stage? I think 2. We'll see when all the teams have booked qualification to the next Gold Cup. But at this point in time, what we can say is that we'll have to wait. But right now, all we know of is that Qatar, Panama, Jamaica, and El Salvador have qualified for the Gold Cup. That's what we know right now. Qatar invited, Panama, Jamaica, El Salvador. Those are the qualified teams at this point in time for the Gold Cup. So that's the situation right now. Mexico are literally a win away from the Gold Cup. They just need to beat Suriname. Costa Rica basically just has to defeat Martinique to qualify. Honduras and Canada look set in their encounter. The United States need one more victory. Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua look set for Gold Cup qualification as well. So we can look out for that. French Guyana, they're also keen on another Gold Cup qualification. And the likes of Bonaire, Aruba, St. Lucia, Puerto Rico will head towards the Gold Cup qualifier, which is basically the preliminary round. So we'll keep close tabs on that as well. But where French Guyana is concerned, they were at the Gold Cup in 2017. A lot of people remember the performances that they had, question marks over Malouda taking the field. I know this was the game against Canada. Alphonso Davies sort of announced himself. They were awarded a 3-0 victory because Fort Malouda took the field. In Costa Rica, they defeated French Guyana. So yeah, situation. Can John Russell not play anymore? Basically, what is the deal is that for a friendly match, I can be like, Listen, Argentina, Romoiri does not have a Jamaican passport. Can he play? And the situation is this. If Argentina says no, then you have to comply with them. They could say yes, but Argentina, they've said no. Quarterfinals of Copa America, sir. Copa America. Please reread the question. I said the question was Copa America 2024, not Gold Cup. Copa America. Please reread what the man said. He said Copa America 2024. Thank you very much. How much more competitive will Bermuda and Guyana be in the next 5 years? Bermuda is going to be great. Look out for Nathan Trott. Will Trinidad get promoted to League A over Nicaragua? Personally, I think that Nicaragua is going to hold on to League A promotion. Still, I wonder how Malouda played for French Guyana. Well, French Guyana is not a FIFA member. French Guyana is not a FIFA member. He was actually born in French Guyana as well. You understand what I mean? But for that tournament, CONCACAF were using FIFA regulations. John Russell does not have a passport, so that would require Argentina FA to agree, and then the game would not be an official friendly. So, yeah. Well, he did play in the Caribbean Cup against Jamaica. This was the semifinals of the Caribbean Cup against Jamaica. There is no sight at the moment of him being called up to the squad at this point in time. There's a comment about if Jamaica is invited to Copa America 2024, then what would my expectation of the team be? And I said quarterfinals. Copa America 2024, my friend, will have invited teams. In Copa America 2024, it is expected to be expanded to a 16-team event, 10 CONMEBOL teams and 6 invited teams. It is anticipated that the 6 invited teams will come from CONCACAF and the AFC, which is the Asian Football Confederation, so they would split it. So that's the reason why this conversation is being had right now. Do you think Domrep will get that second spot in their group, progress to the preliminary round, and ultimately qualify for Gold Cup? Second spot in their group, yes. Ultimately qualify for the Gold Cup. It really depends on the draw for the Gold Cup qualification. Remember the last Gold Cup qualification, you had a draw fight. So you had Haiti taking on St. Vincent, Bermuda, Barbados, Guatemala against Guyana, Guadeloupe against Bahamas, Trinidad against Montserrat, and Cuba against French Guyana. And then from there, you would have, in those encounters, the winner of those particular games, those 3 games. So you had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 teams. And of those 12 teams, you have 3 Gold Cup spots on the line, you know? So this will be interesting. St. Vincent, they've been to a Gold Cup before. Barbados have not qualified for the Gold Cup before. Guyana, they've been to many different Gold Cup tournaments. So, yeah. What a penalty shootout it was for Trinidad to get over the line against French Guyana. That was some penalty shootout, I tell you. Yeah, Dwayne Moquette, former under-17 player. Kevin Molino. Curtis Gonzalez. Justin Garcia. Alvin Jones. So yeah. Quite a squad. No worries. Will Trinidad qualify for Gold Cup and how can they perform? It will really depend on how they do in the playoffs and who they're paired up against in the playoffs. Trend that remain to be seen if they can convince the big guns like Mariano and Firpo. Well, Mariano's played for Dominic before. It's not for him to say, listen, lad, you're not going to play for Spain. No way in this planet Mariano going to play for Spain. Any new faces expected? Gibbs White against Argentina? No, my friend. Maybe 2027 Raheem Sterling will play for Jamaica in Gold Cup. Good one. Good one. Simon, if you had to pick 5 players to absolutely chase for the Jamaica national team, who would you 5? Mason Greenwood, Ethan Laird, Morgan Gibbs White, Lewis Baker, and last, but certainly by no means least, James Justin. Will Junior Firpo and or Mario ever play for Dumper again? Firpo? Both of them can, you know, they just need to say, listen, well, especially with Mariano, you're not going to play for Spain. Come on, you know? I love that choice. Ivan, don't take Jamaica, call up and take England. Do you believe it's a good move? Honestly, I think if he looks back and say he got 1 cap for England, instead of 50 caps for Jamaica, he might say, well, I was an England player. Trent, they are intent to playing for Spain. Yeah, but Spain isn't looking at them. Do you see improvement from TNT from the likes of Garcia brothers balling in Greece? Levi Garcia for me is a baller. And I still rate Molino as a player. So I do see improvement, but my Trinidad and Tobago football is just deteriorated so much. No Max Aarons. I prefer Ethan Laird, my boss. You're honestly surprised Rolando has not called his cousin and tried to get him to play for Jamaica. You know, my friend, some people are close to family, some people are not close to family. Yeah, man, bless up, Blake. I understand what you mean. Some people, they're close to family. Some people, they're not so close to family. You know, that's just the reality of the situation there. Or maybe he did have a conversation and Max is just not looking right now as we speak. So that's the situation. Devon Smith of the Jamaica Football Federation a snail. No, they're not. Why the reason why these players don't want to play for Jamaica in your honest eyes? They want the professionalism. I think that's important to ensure that there's a professionalism in every aspect, communication, travel, everything. So for a point where you need to do like we Eminem say and sap back to reality and take up back Dammer call up and build something like look at Hernandez in Cuba. He's building with Cuba. Yeah. Onel Hernandez, yeah. Onel Hernandez, yeah, a great thing. And an excellent point that you've raised right there. It would be great. Honestly. I would endorse that for sure. So yeah, that's the situation. And I know for some people wondering, what is that on the screen? That is in relation to show you guys the intercontinental playoff berths for the next World Cup. So Asia will have 1 playoff spot, Africa 1 spot, CONCACAF 2, CONMEBOL 1, and Oceania 1. So that altogether is 1, 2, 4, 6. That's 6 altogether. 6 altogether. And that tells you everything you need right there. 2 of the 6 is from CONCACAF. So Simon, if Toney doesn't get playing time with England, he can still play for Jamaica. Yep, 100% spot on. With Leon Bailey, Antonio, Dexter Dapps, and Rebel, one could argue that's the strongest attack in CONCACAF. There's an argument that could be made with that, yes. One could say that, for sure. Young Omari Hutchinson, you're right. And we don't even call Shamar Boza Nicholson's name just yet. I think if Mariano and Ferpa can use their influence and bring in more players from Europe, then we would have a next Caribbean team gunning for our spot as top dogs in the region. Yeah. You know, if ever Martinique or Guadeloupe get FIFA membership and status, my word, look out world. Honestly, if Martinique or Guadeloupe get FIFA status, then we can start saying, wow. And let's not forget, Greenland could be a new team in CONCACAF very, very soon. Greenland is applying to be an affiliate. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, like how the next World Cup is in our region. USA, Canada, Mexico, and those three teams auto-qualify. I think Jamaica can make it. Yes, because, like I said earlier, if you look at the octagonal, right, you had USA, Canada, Mexico finishing top three. And behind those top three, you had Costa Rica 4th, Panama 5th, Jamaica 6th. So the top three, after the top three, Jamaica is in that top three, if you understand exactly what I mean. But honestly, Panama, Costa Rica, Jamaica, El Salvador, Honduras. 3 of those 5 teams are going to the World Cup. Simon, no argument can be made with that USA and Mexico at their strongest run in CONCACAF. In relation to which point exactly? Simon, soon means next month. Yeah. Do you know the final squad that going to fact Argentina or face Argentina? Well, the thing is though that players from the reserves list could very much make their way up to the 23. So I don't think you can be hard and fast at this point in time, as the game is still another 6 days from now. There could be persons from the reserve list that move their way to the main list. So that's something to bear in mind. And if them rep convince these big players in Europe to come play for them, all of them prospective players playing at high levels in Europe, trust me, friendlies against them would be lit. I tell you. If Martinique and Guadeloupe get FIFA membership, it would single-handedly change the outside perspective of CONCACAF. They would be at World Cups. They would. Simon, the USA players are young players at a high level. We don't have the players right now to say we are stronger than them. I'm aware of that, but we're just specifically talking about the attack, and the attack is a competitive attack. Replying to that attack, I don't think so. You look at USA attack, Mexico at worst. Canada put Davis on when you have the youth from Club Brugge. What sort of players do you honestly think the coach will be targeting right now? Omari Hutchinson. Deshaun Bernard. Levi Caldwell. He's doing his data, and you can expect him to pick players based on data and not simply goals and assists, but passing percentages, XG, kilometers run. Data will be used. Any update on Alan Origany? My friend Alan Origany has not been called to the squad, and Alan Origany specifically, there is no latest update where he is concerned. The latest with Alan Origany is that he needs a Jamaican passport. Treat them have a piece of potential. All of them players play in La Liga, Italy, Germany, England, but And the second or first division in these countries, plus they have players in South America currently. Well, I hope to see Jamaica make it, because if we don't, then that simply means our country don't worth a penny. We gotta go 2026, man. I live 1 hour from Red Bull Football Stadium. I don't know the Jamaican team. I thought you knew the squad for the game. I thought you knew the squad for the game. What are the chances we see Deshaun Bernard in Jamaican colours at the Gold Cup? 50-50. What about Marcus Edwards and Andre Green? There is a... Well, I can confirm that Andre Green, at this point in time, there hasn't been contact towards Andre Green specifically, but in relation to Marcus Edwards, there's preliminary contact done. But Andre Green, I know what he's doing over in Slovakia. It's not impressive, but I wouldn't say he is a priority, honestly. I think there are better talents out there than Andre Green. Remember, this is a man that hasn't even scored 30 goals in his professional career. Honestly, Domrep would be our main rivals in the region, like how Trinidad was our main rival, Ferpa, Mariana, and his brother. Yeah, DR would be the main rivals. What's your lineup for the match? I'll prepare that in the match preview, but what I can say is Blake in goal, left back Greg Lee, right back Javian Brown, central defense Damian Lowe, Richard King, midfield you guys know that in terms of the midfield, there's certainly something we have to work out, and that is the holding midfield option. But up top, it's Bailey and Antonio, for sure. We got to go 2026, because if we don't make any, send Simone. If we can't make it, Simon. Yeah, you're right. Simon, please look in Marcus, a CM that can receive the ball on the half turn and drive it with it. With 1 in a million. So yeah, please pass him on to who needs to hear about the players. Romoy, as I said to you earlier, I know that with Marcus, he has Irish heritage, Ghanaian heritage, and English heritage. Well, obviously being born in England, but the Jamaican heritage I need to double check. Does the coach know about Reese Oxford? He knows about Reese Oxford, yes. I feel like if them get them player, it'll go extra hard for us, because hard for us now. No. Josh Wilson, S-Brand for you is the future left back. Personally, I like what I see from him. I think he has a potential to break into City's first team, honestly. And that's my only fear, because of his potential. Simon, do you think we can ever get Javon Anderson? Yeah, of course we can. Honestly, don't look good off my witness. Up, Simon, how's everything? Everything is everything, man. Most things under control. Herb says, I've been balling for Javon Anderson since 2020. Yeah. And sorry, now I'm going to call him up. Come on. Sir, now I'm going to call him up. Unfortunate, I tell you. Really, really frustrating. Yeah. We need to re-explore the Tyreek Mitchell situation. Agreed. Trent says, why aren't we recruiting and assisting with the documents of Raheem Harper? He first needs to be contacted, my friend. That's the very, 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 very first thing that needs to be happening. He needs to be contacted. And after he's contacted, we can take it from there. But the contact has to be established first. The contact has to be established first. It needs to be done. Suriname have a good team also. They do have a good team. They do have a good team, honestly. I feel like they're going to be a team to really, really keep a close eye on. So here's my thoughts, the truth and more about Norton Brooks Coffey. I liked what I saw from him at Chelsea because he was in the Chelsea Academy at under 15 level. He went to Arsenal 2016. Yeah, he's 18 years old right now. Going to be 19 in January, I believe. And here's the thing with Norton Coffey. I know how balanced he is. And I know how disciplined he is. My only fear is this is now 2 seasons in a row that he's gotten loaned out. Lincoln City, Rotherham United. Next season, if he's not in the Arsenal first team, he needs to be playing Premier League football somewhere. That's my honest thought. Well, right back problem and Anderson and Lazio. Is it? They are active. No, they have a more competitive team. So yeah. You don't know the squad? All right. Why don't we bring up the squad for you, sir? I'll bring up the squad for you. And then from there, you'll be able to see. But Curtis Tilt has been added to the squad for the friendly. Curtis Tilt is in the squad. Andre Blake is also in the squad as well. So let me show you guys that, since some people are still not aware of the squad. There we go. Yes, sir. Injury. Simon, you see where our issue is. If you can identify that the left back at City has a type of potential, we should be talking to him now. Wait too long. Ramoy, there's nothing that you've said today that I disagree with at all. I solemnly believe that a player of his caliber, although we know there's no under 20 cycle and we know he's not eligible for under 17, I don't see a problem. You have 20 players and you get 20 passports, so you know when the time comes for the Gold Cup, for a World Cup qualifying, for any friendly, that passport is ready. Remember, the passport is not a guarantee that you get a cap for Jamaica. We're watching you. We're keeping close eyes on you. You're added to our player pool. And this is a Jamaican passport. So 6 months down the road, 4 months down the road, we're aware that if there's injuries or we want to give you a debut, that we have it in our back pocket. Why not? They need to pick the goalkeeper clock on the forward clock to the Hutchinson. they need to be on the team. James Justin would be great for us. He would. Simon, why don't JFF don't contact all these eligible players when they could revolutionize Jamaican football by consistently qualifying for World Cups? Trent Boren, what I can say is that there will be conversations with players. There will be conversations leading into 2026. So we can be certain of that. The only question mark is when those conversations will be held, but there will for certain be conversations with potential players. And that is something that everyone can feel confident about and feel truly relieved about, I could say. So that's the matter. Have there been any contact with James Justin? Unfortunately, not, my friend. No. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you the past 2 hours. You know, we do 3 to 4 videos every day on this channel. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back with so much more. Okay, guys? Really, really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back with so much more right here on Reggaeboyz Commentary. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more content.
This video is brought to you by Maypen Educational Center, catering to evening CSEC classes and chess classes. Call 876-337-7374 or 876-775-6692. We got you covered preparing for exams. Andy Gone Nuts, 100% guaranteed fresh coconut water delivered straight to your door. Call 876-309-6128. That's 876-309-6128. Refreshing and affordable. For more information, follow them on Instagram at Andy Gone Nuts. Truly refreshing. And Crumble by Mrs. C. Old English fudge and other delectable sweet treats. Call or WhatsApp 876-586-0471. That's 876-586-0471. This video is also brought to you by BLC Jamaica Security Electronics, specializing in alarm system, video surveillance, camera system or CCTV, barrier system, gate automation, and access control. Call 876-320-7711. That's 876-320-7711 or 876-351-1105. That's 876-351-1105.